Welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. Job fair organized in Udhampur, many private companies participate to hire talented youth of Jammu and Kashmir. Tokyo Metropolitan Government completes construction of underground water. And Hindu devotees in Nepal commemorate ancestors on Bala Chaturdashi festivities. Let's begin the show. The District Employment Department in Udhampur organized a one-day job fair in the region, bringing a lot more opportunities for the talented youth of Kashmir. Various companies participated in the fair and conducted job interviews for the aspirants, eager to find an employment in their field of interest. We have a report.
The District Employment Department in Udhampur organized a one-day job fair, bringing more job opportunities for the youth of Jammu and Kashmir. The job fair organized at the District Employment and Counselling Centre witnessed participation of various private companies. The Director of Employment Nisar Ahmadwani inaugurated the job fair and appealed the youth of Kashmir to make use of these opportunities as much as they can.
हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जो एक्चुअल स्किल मार्केट में रिक्वायर्ड है उसी किस्म की ट्रेनिंग दिलाए, उससे बहुत फ़ायदा होता है डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली। और दूसरा ये भी एक है कि हमारा कोशिश होती है कि बच्चों को मोटिवेट करें, बच्चों को हम कोशिश करें ये कंसेप्शन देने की कि ठीक है गवर्नमेंट जॉब की जितनी जॉब के पॉसिबिलिटी है आप कोशिश करो, ट्राई करो, उसमें पीछे मत रहो, मगर साथ साथ आप अल्टरनेटिव्स भी ढूंढते रहो।
The employment fair not only served as a platform for job seekers but also as a networking opportunity for companies to connect with potential candidates. On-spot job interviews were conducted for the aspirants and the selected candidates were offered placements.
मैं आईटीआई से आई हूँ, वहाँ पे मैं ड्राफ्टमैन का कोर्स कर रही हूँ और इसका बहुत ज़्यादा बेनिफिट्स है हमें, स्पेशली जो आज के टाइम पे इंडिया में बहुत ज़्यादा अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है, बहुत ज़्यादा जो लोग हैं वो पढ़ के भी नई जॉब मिल पा रही है। उसके लिए एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऑफिस ने ये जो फेयर का अरेंजमेंट किया है, इससे हमें बहुत ज़्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिल रही हैं। अलग अलग यहाँ पे स्टॉल्स लगे हैं जिससे हम अपने कांटेक्ट कर पा रहे हैं उनसे, और जो हमारे लिए बेनिफिट है, बहुत ज़्यादा बेनिफिट दे रहा है हमें यहाँ से बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है। और मैं थैंक यू बोलती हूँ एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऑफिसर के जो यहाँ पे डायरेक्टर सर हैं उनको, कि उन्होंने ये कैंप अरेंज किया हमारे लिए और हमें यहाँ से बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा है और हमारे इंटरेक्शन हो पा रही है उनसे, फेस टू फेस इंटरेक्ट हो पा रहे हैं। हमें जो चीज़ का हमें नॉलेज नहीं है हमें वो भी मिल रहा है, नॉलेज लेने को मिल रहा है।
For many job seekers, it was a chance to make connections with the employers and get awareness about the skills required in the current job market. The District Employment Departments organize many such fairs and skill development programs across the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir.
मैं यहीं रहता हूँ उधमपुर, यहीं से आए हम आईटीआई कॉलेज में आते हैं, वहाँ से आए हैं। यहाँ कैंप लगा हुआ है आज एक, जिसमें इसके हमें बहुत बेनिफिट्स हैं। ये एक ही इधर लगा हुआ है कैंप, हर किसी का है। इसमें अलग अलग वो हैं जॉब्स हैं, उसमें हम इंटरव्यू देंगे और कोई जॉब मिलेगी हमें। और ये बहुत सारे इसका बहुत फ़ायदा है हमें भी, और इंटरव्यू देने का भी हमें इसका एक्सपीरियंस हो जाएगा जब भी हम ये देंगे। और बहुत फ़ायदा है इसकी, अलग अलग कंपनीज़ में इसकी जॉब्स हैं, अलग अलग कंपनीज़ हैं इसमें।
The devoted youths of Kashmir have made their names in diverse sectors, and the government organizations are putting concerted efforts in equipping the youth with the latest skills required in the industry. The youngsters too are making significant advancements by seizing opportunities to learn and implement their skill sets at their jobs.
Moving on to Japan, where the Japan Food Product Overseas Promotion Center appointed foreign researcher to study on country's culture and traditions. On the other hand, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government focuses on creating a city that is safe and secure. In particular, to shield locals from the disastrous water and flood, Tokyo Met created water reservoir pond and widened the river. Have a look.
After the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, the evacuation orders in the Fukushima prefecture towns of Okuma and Nami were partially lifted. The new buildings are being built and the residents are back. J-Fudo, or the Japan Food Product Overseas Promotion Center, has appointed Rebecca Wilson Lee, a researcher, to study Japan's culture and tradition.
I'm here at Manamiya Yume no Mori School to learn about this wonderful project which just started in August this year.
いい点はとてもインクルーシブなコミュニティになるっていうことです。大熊町にもともと住んでいて避難をして帰ってきた人もたくさん学校にいますけれど、移住してきた方もいらっしゃるんですね。私が始まる場所っていうのをスローガンにしていて。
What job do you want to do?
I want to be comic writer.
And this is your design?
Yes.
Wow!
Students' design is printed on the bag and commercialized. She visits Nami Star Fallen Farm to meet organizer Mr. Daiju Takahashi. Starfish is fertilizer and protection against animals.
I guess in some ways you're a little bit of an outsider coming into this community. How has the cooperation and reaction been from local residents?
It's been great experience for me. People who have come back here, the local people, they are amazingly open-minded and welcoming for those outsiders like me. Produce itself, we are growing root beet and also indigo dye plant and very rare plants like juniper berry or agave tequilana, which haven't been grown in Japan ever.
Well, I've spent the day here in Namie-machi and I've met local people, some local children, and even some outsiders who have decided to make Namie-machi their home. And my takeaway from our conversations today have been there's a real sense of forward movement, as though there's a new era, a new dawn here in this small town.
Now Fukushima is rebuilding an unparalleled community in Japan after overcoming tragedy. Foreign viewers of Japan can easily identify it. The Tokyo metropolitan government focuses on creating a city that is safe and secure. In particular, to shield locals from the disastrous water and flood, Tokyo Met created a water reservoir pond and widened the river. Concrete pavement began to cover modern cities in the 1980s. It sparked regular water disasters in the city. Large-scale treatment was initiated as a result of unpleasant past experiences. Typhoon strikes Japan in the summer, it brings with it river flooding and residential inundation. After the construction of the underground big water reservoir pond, water flood damage decreased distinctively. Out of 28 underground water reservoir ponds, more than 20 reservoirs work to absorb flood water and prevent disaster. However, citizen cooperation helps to maintain a green environment and prevent flooding from water. 758 tanks are positioned to store rainfall in the Katsushika district to prevent flooding. It is known as a miniature dam and can hold 26,000 tons of water.
雨水活用っていうのはやはり区民レベルで進めていかなければならないかなというふうに思っておりまして、墨田区多くの区民の方に雨水タンクをご家庭に設置していただいて、普段使いで使っていただいているというところがございます。
このロジソンという施設は墨田区に20カ所ほどあって、こちらのお家に降った雨を一旦ここの地下にあるタンクに蓄えて、それを手押しポンプで汲み上げて近所の人たちが使えるという仕組みになっています。こちらにある市民農園と組み合わせて設置されているところで、ここに溜まった雨水を水やりに普段使っています。
Preserved water is utilized to keep a green environment in daily life. Sanitary water comes from preserved rainwater. It is developed by administrative leadership and citizen cooperation. Tokyo Metropolitan has a large following of both domestic and foreign travelers. Tokyo Metropolitan Police takes into account the safety and security of its citizens and visitors regularly.
And now, we take a look at some happenings in Asia in our segment called Asia Watch. Beijing authorities shut schools and told people to stay home on December 13 as a mass of cold air drifted into the Chinese capital from the west, the second cold wave this week. City officials have issued the second highest alert for blizzards through December 14, the only such warning yet in the country. Businesses were told to offer employees flexible working conditions and staggered commutes. Snow, blizzards and plunging temperatures have swept northern China in what could be one of its most severe cold snaps in December. Beijing could face temperatures as low as -18 degrees Celsius this weekend, compared to the mid-December average of about -8 degrees Celsius. Sri Lanka was hit by a nationwide power outage, a government official said, sending residents to grapple with the loss of electricity by working and studying in the dark. Some shopkeepers kept their business going by working under dim candlelight, while people at a tuition center were seen sitting in a dark classroom. A spokesperson from Ceylon Electricity Board, the country's power monopoly, said a transmission system failure in the Court Mill Biagama transmission line was reported around 5:10 p.m. Power was restored to the whole country nearly 5 hours later, witnesses said. Large explosions and clouds of smoke were seen near the Israel-Gaza border as Israel pressed ahead in its battle against Palestinian militant group Hamas. The fighting began on October 7 when Hamas staged a surprise attack on Israel, killing 1,200 people and taking 240 hostages. In response, Israel has vowed to annihilate the militant Islamist group Hamas, which has ruled Gaza since 2007. According to Gaza health authorities, around 80,000 people have been killed by Israeli attacks, with 49,500 injured. About 100 of the Israeli hostages were freed during a week-long truce that ended on December 1. The teachers, professors and staff employed in public institutions of Gilgit-Baltistan held a major protest against the local administration. The employees complained that their jobs have not been regularized and they have not received any increment in their salaries. They lambasted the Gilgit-Baltistan Assembly for dropping bomb of inflation on the general public and splurging on their lavish lifestyles. We have a report.
A large number of teachers, professors, staff members and students of public education institutions held a sit-in against the administration in Gilgit-Baltistan. The teachers and professors complain that their minimum wages have not been raised even after serving for so many years at the public educational institutions.
अभी तक हमें ना पक्का किया जा रहा है ना कुछ, और हम स्कूल के कॉलेज को चलाते हैं। हम जो जितने भी स्टाफ हम दोनों कंटीजेंट हैं, तो हम दोनों कॉलेज चला रहे हैं। इस वक्त अपने सिफारिश वालों को आगे कर देते हैं, हमारा कोई सिफारिश करने वाला नहीं है, शायद इसीलिए हम बहुत पीछे रह गए हैं। हम लेडीज तो जाहिर है, हमारे ये भाई भी अकेले कितना बाहर निकलेंगे, हम भी इनके साथ हैं। जिस वक्त ये कहेंगे दिन रात हम इनके साथ धरना करने को तैयार हैं।
Amid high inflation, when essential commodities have become extremely expensive than ever before, the contractual employees are finding it hard to run their normal livelihood. They lambasted the Gilgit-Baltistan Assembly for dropping a bomb of inflation and hiking the salaries of ministers and officials to the tune of 600%.
तो बजट नहीं है तो कम से कम ये है कि वो अपने अमारात में कमी करें। ये जो असेंबली वाले अपने तनख्वाहों में 600% इजाफा कर चुके हैं, इसमें कमी करें। ये अपने अयाशियों में कमी करे, लाकर हमारे जो गरीब मुलाजिमिन के ऊपर बम गिरा रहे हैं महंगाई का।
The protesters complain, although the order of increasing the minimum wages has been passed, they have not received any notification from the Finance Ministry of Gilgit-Baltistan. The employees have highlighted the issue of increment several times in the past, but the administration has remained apathetic to their issues.
वजारत खजाना गिलगित बल्तिस्तान अब तक नोटिफिकेशन नहीं कर सका है। हमने उनके साथ बारहा मुलाकात की कोशिश की, उन्होंने वक़्त मांगा, हमने वक़्त दे दिया, लेकिन 5 महीने का तवील तरीन अरसा गुजरने के बावजूद सूबाई हुकूमत इस मिनिमम वेज को नोटिफाई करने में नाकाम रही है। इतनी बड़ी कोई अमाउंट नहीं है जिसमें बड़ी ह्यूज अमाउंट हो, अरबों में अमाउंट हो।
Gilgit-Baltistan is an illegally occupied territory by Pakistan. The ethnic residents have no representation in governance and policy-making process in their own land. In recent times, there have been massive uprisings against the administration, and it seems there will be more such protests considering the current scenario in Gilgit-Baltistan.
Moving on, Bala Chaturdashi, also known as the Festival of Lights, is a significant festival recently observed by Hindus in Nepal. It holds deep spiritual meaning as families come together to remember and honor their departed loved ones. The festival begins at sunset, transforming neighborhoods into a spectacle of colors and lights. Streets are adorned with intricate oil lamps, creating a serene atmosphere that symbolizes the guiding of spirits towards peace. Devotees offer prayers for the departed souls and seek blessings for their peaceful journey beyond this realm. Hindu devotees in Nepal camp out to stay up all night, lighting oil-fed lamps and praying for the salvation of departed soul to mark the auspicious occasion Bal or Bala Chaturdashi. Tarpaulins covers the ground of Pashupatinath temple, including the Bagmati river embankments. On the eve of Bala Chaturdashi, devotees who have lost loved ones in their family perform this ritual for the salvation of the souls of deceased ones. The festival of Bala Chaturdashi starts from Marg Krishna Triyodashi, the 13th day of the waning moon in the month of Mangsir. Devotees who observe this ritual maintain strict fasting with only one meal that day and abstaining from garlic, onions, fish, eggs and other food items that are said to be impure. In the evening, they reach the Pashupatinath temple or shrines dedicated to Lord Shiva and chant hymns and prayers to Lord Shiva all night long. They light Akhand Jyoti in the name of deceased souls of their families. The next morning, Marg Krishna Chaturdashi, they take a holy bath and start their journey around the Pashupatinath temple premises, spreading 7 kinds of grains along the way.
यो वर्षको एकचोटी छरिन्छ बाला चतुर्दशीमा एकदम मरेका पितृहरूको लागि चाहिँ आत्मा दिवंगत आत्मा चिर शान्तिको लागि चाहिँ पितृहरू चाहिँ स्वर्गवास होस् जन्मिनु मर्नु नपरोस् भनेर एउटा हाम्रो हिन्दू धर्म अनुसार आस्था चलन हो.
The 7 grains include dhan, jaw, til, ghun, chana, makai and kagnu. Devotees walk along Kailash Surya Ghat, Gauri Ghat, Arya Ghat, Kueshwari, Mrighastali, Vishwaroop, Kirteshwar, 108 Shivling. On the auspicious occasion, devotees float the live lamps on the river, which is believed would lighten the world of departed soul in their afterlife. Devotees remain awake throughout the night, campaigning on the edge of the Bagmati river facing the Pashupatinath temple.
हामी आज बत्ती बाल्ने मादी बाल्ने रातभरि अनि त्यहाँ बिहान बत्ती सेलाउने त्यहाँ फेरि अर्को होम सानो होम लाउने त्यस्तै कार्यक्रम छ हाम्रो.
As per Hindu mythology, one's ancestor will have a place in heaven if such seeds are sown in the shrines related to Lord Shiva and at the Pashupati area in the name of the deceased, and family happiness is ensured. According to the myth, there was a trader named Balananda who had come to Arya Ghat in Pashupati.
There he was eating on the bank of Bagmati. Near him, a body was being burned in a pyre. Bala had a childhood friend named Brishnasimha. The locals went to Brisha and they pleaded with him to kill Bala and rid them of the fear. Bala Chaturdashi is not just a ritual, it's a time for families to come together, share stories of their ancestors and strengthen the bonds that transcend generations.
It's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Pratiksha Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.